Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien. Today's live stream, we're going to focus more on the altcoins. I am going to start off with Bitcoin just to show you that things look healthy here in Bitcoin world and cryptocurrency world. But after that, we'll get into some of your live requests here. We'll get into some of your requests here on the live stream. I see John316 is already requesting Jasmy. So we'll take a look at Jasmy as one of the first altcoins here. And yeah, you know, as the requests come in, I'll take a look at these coins here on the charts for you. Bitcoin right now is looking fine. All right, we're only about what, $4,000 away from the all-time highs. If I was to measure, you know, where we are from the all-time high, we're only down not even, wow, we're only down 3% from the all-time highs. Okay, so Bitcoin is looking fine as long as we just hang out near the all-time highs and not see, you know, a significant drop down in price. Like we kind of got a little bit of a scare yesterday, but it was just a little bit of a correction. Okay, I think altcoins are gonna do just fine, and they'll be able to start doing their thing here as Bitcoin just hangs out near all-time highs. Okay, Bitcoin at 122,500. We did see Bitcoin drop down to the 6.5 retracement at 120,127. We didn't go down there exactly, but close enough. We kind of front ran the golden pocket here. And now it looks like we're coming back up to the 786 retracement, which is acting as a little bit of resistance. We actually got a little above it on the daily candle here. But I want to see us like just stay at the 786 retracement and continue going up to higher prices, because that is extremely bullish in my opinion here. Now just look at the oscillators on the daily time frame on the RSI. Bitcoin is at a 63 on the RSI, so Bitcoin's not even overbought. We can continue going up to higher prices here on Bitcoin and not even be overbought. Okay. Buying pressure did die down. Yesterday on Tuesday, and it's a little bit weak today on Bitcoin. Okay, but you know, we could always increase the buying pressure, and there's no reason why this has to continue trending down. But I am paying attention to buying pressure. If this continues to die down going into tomorrow and Friday into the weekend, then I might be a little bit concerned that we kind of put in, you know, the higher high on Bitcoin, and then we'll just be looking for a higher low at some point. And if we are looking for a high low on the daily time frame, you know, we might come down to the 0.5 retracement at 117K, or even the 0.382 at 115K. I think 115K sounds about right, because you also got the 50-day moving average that could provide support at 115K. So, you know, don't be surprised if Bitcoin does drop down on us and we come down to that 115K area, which is a price that we were trading at for the most part towards the end of September, 115, 116K. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came down there, just to make sure that that is actual support before we go up to higher prices. All right, but we would rather see just Bitcoin just hang out at 120K, 122K. That sounds a lot better, right? In my opinion, it does. And then if we can just stay at 122K and show that this is the support area, then we can launch our way up to that 130K area, which is what we're aiming for Bitcoin. Hopefully later on this week, we might see Bitcoin hit that 1272 fib extension at 131K. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm not asking for the 1618, which is at 137K. I think 131K just shows people that we're making positive price action to the upside, and that we can continue being bullish here on crypto. All right, I think I am ready to look at your altcoins now. We'll take a look at John316's request here for Jasmy, and then let me see what my TikTok guys are saying here. What are you guys saying? Altcoin season coming? Also, altcoin season has kind of been already coming. It's been here since July, where we saw the Bitcoin dominance drop below the 200-day moving average. And I'll just show that here. And that was right after the stablecoin bill came into play, came into action here in the US. And let me just zoom out here so you can see Bitcoin dominance is at 59% right now. I'm glad you mentioned that. Altcoin season. It wasn't until like the middle of July where Bitcoin dominance, which was like around 65%, started dropping like a rock. And that was after the stablecoin bill got passed. And then we had a back test, another back test off the 2-day moving average. And this is your altcoin season right here. So we kind of been in altcoin season already. All right. So a select few. Eventually, some of the altcoins that are doing well, like Solana, like XRP, money will leave those altcoins and start going into the smaller ones like Sui, like Avalanche, like Jasmy in this case. Okay, but on the Bitcoin dominance, you know, Bitcoin dominance has been rising up, and I'm glad you mentioned altcoin season, because we have seen Bitcoin dominance rise up, and this could just be another bear flag. And if this is going to end up being a bear flag, then you would just measure that move, right? From here down to here as your bear flag, right? And if we continue on down to lower levels here on Bitcoin dominance, you could see Bitcoin dominance get down to 54%. And that's looking like somewhere around like November next month. Okay, we could see Bitcoin dominance down to 54%. This is just a guesstimate, just using previous trend analysis here, using the bear flag that we might be creating on Bitcoin dominance, but it's saying it's a possibility here. Okay. All right. So yeah, we are still in altcoin season. It's not coming. It's already here. All right. Moving on from Bitcoin dominance, let's look at Jasmy now. USD. Let's see. Coming up on Coinbase. Let's see. Yep. All right. Let me go ahead and change the settings here real quick. Get lights lines off. Alright. Jasmy. What is Jasmy doing? Jasmy's currently trading at a little bit above a penny at 0.0127 pennies. We'll just say 12.70 right now. Below the moving averages, okay? So already I have to assume like this thing is going to be in bearish territory, right? If you're below the 200-day moving average, that red line, then you are, in my opinion, going to have to be biased towards the bear side here. If we come up to that 200-day moving average, we might get rejected. That 200-day moving average is sitting at 14.78, which is basically about a penny and a half. So we get to a penny and a half. I'm expecting another rejection at that level. However, as long as you're continuing to make higher lows here, I think you'll be fine on Jasmy. And then you might get that explosive move to the upside, maybe sometime in November or December. But the explosive move to the upside won't happen until you break above that 200-day moving average. And the 200-day moving average is kind of bunched up with the other moving average. You got the 100-day and the 50-day right next to each other, and it's all saying like a penny and a half. So a penny and a half is going to be a tough nut to crack for Jasmy here. Let me just turn down the music a little bit. I feel like it might be a little bit too loud here. Okay. But I have done a Fibonacci analysis on Jasmy. The 618 is where you would expect you to at least retrace back up to on this Fibonacci, and that's hanging out at just above a penny and a half. That's at 17.25. That could be another resistance level that could get respected. If we get above a penny and a half, then I'm thinking like a 0.17, 0.017 is going to be the next resistance level. And then after you get past that level, then we'll see how we can get above this lower high here back in August at roughly 2 pennies, and then get above right over here where you were in July. You were as high as almost 2 pennies. So yeah, I think once you get past 2 pennies, then you got the Fibonacci extension above you. 1618 says 2.5 pennies. If you get up to 2.5 pennies on Jasmy, you're basically doubling your money from where you are right now. Okay. But Jasmy's got some work to do, and the first order of business is to get above that 200-day moving average. Okay, that 200-day moving average, like I said, it's probably going to act as resistance at a penny and a half. When you get back up there, you might get rejected again. Hopefully you create a little higher low, and then you could try again and push past that penny and a half level. And then we're talking business here on Jasmy. That's what you're waiting for, is that penny and a half level. On the downside, for Jasmy, just stay above this higher low that you're creating. This is good to see. Okay, don't go lower than that level at 1174. You can put your stop loss at like 1160 as of now, and you won't lose too much. If you put your stop loss right now at 1160, it's a really tight stop loss. You're only risking about around 8%, somewhere in that area. Okay, that's a decent stop loss to be having. You're not really risking like that much. You could be even more conservative. You could put your stop loss down to where we got as low here in June at like a penny. So if you put your stop loss at a penny, now you're talking about like a 20% stop loss. But I think you can get away with keeping it tighter than that at like 1160 here, and you're only risking about 8 or 9% on your stop loss. Long Sack says, how do I think about Link, Sui, and Tau? Man, is that like 3 requests? Are you trying to ask for like 3 different altcoins here? Let me go ahead and write those down. Appears as though you like Link and Sui and Tau. I'm gonna give you a limit there. No more than 3 coins from one person here. Okay, so those are your 3 requests, all in one right there. Steven wants to look at BNKR, and then Varu wants to look at others.d. We can take a look at others.d right now, because we actually looked at we just looked at Bitcoin dominance, which is kind of related to others. Kind of gives you an idea of like what the altcoins are doing out there. I think that's what you want to look at, right? And then this guy named Shut Up wants to look at the Celestia. Alright, so we got some coins to look at here. Alright. Thank you for hitting the like button there, Steven. We're at almost 2,000 likes here. If we can just hit that like button, if you double tap your screen a few more times here, we'll probably get up to like 2,000 likes here on the TikTok stream. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, guys. And thank you, Dusty, and for following me. We talk about cryptos, currencies here, but we could also talk about stocks as well, or commodities. I know gold is doing pretty well, but if you don't put in the request, then I'm just going to stick to whatever people want to talk about today. Alright, John316 says that Jazzing has partnered with Panasonic. That's interesting. Good for them. Alright, so let's take a look at others. Because we're kind of on an altcoin season, altcoin live stream here, focused live stream. So we're going to be talking about the altcoins. So this is others.d. It's the crypto total market cap excluding the top 10 for your dominance. Okay, and right now, so that basically it's all the altcoins except for like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. It's like the small market cap altcoins is what we're looking at, and they only have about 7% of the market share, about 7.62% of the market cap of crypto. But looking at the daily chart here for others.d, you can see that we have the lowest low here back on June 22nd. That was like right after America got done dropping bombs on Iran and gave the whole world a scare, because that was like the first time that they ever did that to Iran. All right, and that was all the fear got baked into there, and then we've been making higher lows here. It looks like we're making another higher low, and we have made higher high compared to what we did here in July. We had made a higher high in September compared to July, so we're on our way up here on others. That's good to see. Trying to zoom out just to get a bigger picture here. Others.d was this was like an altcoin season back here, you know, in January of 2024. Okay, we saw others.d as high as 13.7%, and then looks like here in March of 2024 we've seen it as high as like 13%. And then the altcoins didn't do so well during the summer of 2024, and then here, you know, in November and December of last year of 2024, we saw others get up to like 12%, not as high, so it actually made a lower high compared to what it did in March. So that's not the best thing to see here. And now we see others.d is actually hanging out at 7.6%. So a lot of the money is in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana right now. and it hasn't really trickled down into the smaller cap altcoins out there. But this could be a buying opportunity. Okay, we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here, because we have gotten above this 200-day moving average. This red line here was acting as resistance, is now could act as support. We gotta flip this into support, and then we see, hopefully we'll see Altcoins.D move up to higher prices here. Let me turn on the VRVP, see what the resistance might be going forward. Right now, you got the point of control is at a 7.8%. That's going to be the first resistance to get past. That's also like kind of where the 200-day moving average is on others.d. I think once you get past 7.8 and 7.9%, you're gonna see altcoins go for a run here, and you'll see right over here the value area high. That could be some resistance at 8.7%. So another percent of market cap dominance could be in play here, and you might get resistance because people that were buying altcoins back in February and March of 2025, they might see some of their altcoins get back to break even again, and they might click sell on you. But once we get past the people there that want to sell on you just to break even, then there should be like a little resistance until we get up to like 10% on the others.d. And 10%, that's a high volume node right here. If you see it, 10% is where this thing was hanging out at back in December. So I think once we get to 10%, you'll really feel like you're in an altcoin season based on others.d money going into the cryptocurrencies that are not in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Alright, so we'll move on from others.d. Let's take a look at Tau and Sui, and then we'll look at BNKR, and I'll come back to Chainlink later. But I'm not going to do all three requests at once because I want to make sure I'm able to get to other people's requests here. But we'll come back to Chainlink later on. Just remind me if I forget. Alright, so let's take a look at Tau. This is a AI cryptocurrency play here. Tau or BitSensor. I haven't looked at this one in a while. Actually, I don't want to look at it on Coinbase. Let's look at it on Binance. It's got more data here. Yeah. Alright, so I got the VRVP here. I'll take that off for now. Tau was creating a symmetrical triangle that I identified over the last couple of months here. Making lower highs, lower high. However, making higher low. And are you still making higher lows? Looks like you kind of created a double bottom here around September. You came down to like $290.50, and back here in June you were as low as $288.54. So you actually created a double bottom, which is good to see, and it's also a higher low still compared to what you have on June. So you're flirting with fire, you're playing with fire, but you can still work with this. You can still work with this. And I don't know if maybe I have to redraw the triangle now, because I mean you were trying to do higher lows here, but now it's looking more like this. So now it's not even a symmetrical triangle anymore. You're kind of in a descending triangle on Tau. So this is what it's looking like if we were to continue playing around in this descending triangle. The resolution looks like it's not going to come until like May of next year. I mean, this is just an idea. This doesn't have to play out exactly like that. Obviously, if you're in Tau, you probably want to see us get out of this descending triangle, and you want to see us make some higher highs and higher lows here, actually start an uptrend. But right now, you got the 200-day moving average sitting above you at 349. That's going to act as a bully for now until you get above it, and then turn that bully into one of your friends and add that as a support, where the 200-day moving average can be flipped from resistance into support, and then we can move up to higher prices here. If we are to move up to higher prices, I want to see us get above the last lower high here, back here in August, where we got as high as like 398, $404. You do that, and then you're starting to make the case of making higher highs, and of course you got to make a higher low, and then make another higher high. And then I want to see us get above the high here in July, where we got as high as like $461. I think that is the targets to be looking for Tau. Okay. But first order of business, get above that 200-day moving average. If you don't get above that 200-day moving average and you get rejected, I mean, we could come back all the way down and retest that 290 level all over again. Will you make another higher low? I don't know. Will you actually break that and break market structure and actually make a lower low? And then we have to figure out, all right, are we in a descending channel or maybe a falling wedge at that point? But let's just see if Tau can actually stay above, you know, 290 bucks. Actually get above the 2-day moving average. Treat it as support instead of resistance, and then you can be more bullish on Tau, in my opinion. Alright, Varut says silver almost doing all-time highs after 4 years. Yeah, gold and silver are doing pretty well. That just shows you that the US dollar is becoming more and more worthless as they spend more money that they don't have, and they have to continue to borrow just to pay back their debts. So that's just, you know, if anything, that also gives more credence to Bitcoin going to higher prices, because if the US dollar is becoming worthless, then you'll see that reflect in the price of Bitcoin going to higher prices, and that should eventually trickle down into the altcoins, you would think. Okay. But these altcoins, they're pretty much like they're like penny stocks, okay? Some of them are actually going to do well, some of them are not. Some of them are actually completely worthless, and we're all trying to figure out which one are the worthless ones and which one are the ones to get into when it comes to altcoins. It's like being in the stock market and trading penny stocks and trading the Russell 2000, okay? Matter of fact, that's exactly what they should call altcoins. They should call them the Russell 2000 of crypto. Okay, but there are some moves to be made, and you can trade these coins. Maybe some of them might be worthwhile investments if they have a use case, especially if they're able to make money. I think as far as altcoins go, the ones that are making money are like the decentralized exchanges, the DEXs. So if you can get into a DEX, that seems to do pretty well. All right. Some DEXs would be like Aerodrome Finance, okay? Which is supported by Coinbase. And then there's a new one that came out called Aster, and that's supported by Binance. So there are some decentralized exchanges. There's another one called Avantis that came out, but Avantis actually could be a buying opportunity. It dropped down in price here, okay? Got as high as like $2.43. Yeah, well, no, higher than that. Actually got as high as $2.68. I take that back. So Avantis could be a buying opportunity, and if this coin is able to make money and give it back to their investors, give it back to the people that hold the coin, then this thing could just be another buying opportunity and launch up to higher prices. Alright, let's move on from Tau to we'll take a look at BNKR, and then we'll take a look at SUI after that. Richard wants to look at Toshi. Alright, I'll write that down. That's gonna come a little bit later. Appreciate that request. We'll take a look at Toshi. And some guy is speaking a language I don't know. On the Stokestone. Is that a request for Stokestone? I never heard of that one. If you could give me the ticker symbol for Stokestone. I'm just gonna write Stoke for now. But if you have the ticker symbol, that'd be great. Alright, let's look at BNKR. Bankers Investment Trust? Is this a stock you want me to look at? Oh, then there's BNKR USD. That's Banker Coin. If you can clarify, do you want me to look at Banker the stock or Banker the crypto? Because there's literally two of them. Banker the coin. Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, all right. Let's thank you for the clarification. I just had to double check, make sure that that's what you want. Banker the coin. You can find this on Mexi Exchange. It looks like, and this thing is trading. I mean, that's what 0.00055 US dollar tethers We'll just call that 5533. So around 5500 is where this thing is trading at. And I'm looking at the daily time frame for Banker coin. And I'm trying to familiarize myself because I never looked at this chart before. But Banker looks like it got as high as like 12,000. That's not even a penny, but it's like a tenth of a penny. So it got as high as like a tenth of a penny back in July of 2025 here. And just look at the market structure. This kind of looks like a bull flag. I don't know what's up with this. You just gapped up out of nowhere. Like you were trading back here in April. Okay, it looks like it kind of got delisted. Looks like it got delisted off of Mexi and then got relisted again at a higher price. Let me see if there's another exchange that has more information that hasn't delisted it. Maybe we'll take a look at it on weeks, maybe. Oh yeah, it's even crazier. All right, so weeks kind of has the candle. It looks like they did not deal. Oh wait, no, this one did get delisted on weeks as well. So this is interesting. All right, interesting. We have some missing information here, but this thing did shoot up to higher prices in July, it looks like. And this is looking like a bull flag in my opinion. Okay. I can just draw this out. You kind of have like some higher lows being formed here. However, you got lower highs being formed as well. And it's looking like a bull pennant or a bull flag, some might call it. You kind of lost, you got like a little bit of a fake out where you came out of the bull pennant here. And you're hugging the uptrend here, so that's good to see. This might be a good way to strategically plan. You could buy now near the uptrend, put your stop loss right below you. So if you put the stop loss right below you, how far down of the stop loss is that? You put it right down here. It's about a 26% stop loss. Not the best, but not the worst either. Especially if with this being an altcoin that is barely well known out there. And if this thing was to play out right as a bull flag, okay, trend analysis here. If this is the measured move of the bull flag, you just take this flagpole, you put it to like where you could break out of this symmetrical triangle, and this blue number right here, 14,740. That is your target on this asset here. And let me see if that you know, kind of plays out with the fib retracement here. Let's see if we get some fib extension levels here. I'm just gonna measure. I'm gonna negate and neglect this candle wick, and I'm just gonna draw from a close. The candle close here at 8100. That seems more respectable. And I'll take this down to where the lows here back in April, and it looks like the 1272 is sitting at 12,950. That's kind of like confluent with this measure move at 14,740 for the bull flag, and also right below the 1618 at 16,000. So I think this is your target zone. Your long-term take profit target is going to be between 13,000 roughly to 16,000. Anywhere in this area is going to be your take profit target, and that's going to be about more than a double, almost a triple from where you're at right now. If it gets to 16,000, that's going to be a triple. Almost a triple, yeah. Almost a 3x right there. Shut up, sis. Looks like a scam coin. Chris Cook says Reactive Network. What's the ticker symbol for Reactive Network? I'll put that down. And then Griffin, if you guys give me the ticker symbols, it's a lot easier if you give me the ticker symbols, and I can type that into your TradingView over here. That's the site that I'm using to look at these coins. So we got to look at Reactive Network and Griffin. You might you might be right about that. Shut up. 90% of the coins will go to zero. Yeah, this is like trading penny stocks on the stock market. There's most likely these coins are gonna fail. And that statistic of 90% of coins will go to zero is the same statistic as 90% of new businesses end up failing. So these are all new businesses that are now on the cryptocurrency blockchain. So you can expect 90% of these coins will fail, yeah. And 90% of these businesses will fail, because that's the usual statistic for new businesses. But the ones that don't fail, you could make a life-changing money. So yeah, what is Griffin? If you can give me the ticker symbol, I'm just gonna write out Griffin, and I will come back to that later. But we gotta take a look at Sui now, and then we'll look at the Celestia. Thank you, Corpse, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Let's look at Sui. See how Sui's doing. I'm actually trying to get into a Sui long here. Well, I am in a Sui long, and I'm a little bit curious how it's playing out. Actually, let me just double check, see how it's looking. I am currently up. That's all I care about right now. I was a little bit worried that I was gonna get stopped out near break even on my Sui long. I'm in a Sui long, and I'm in a KSM long, and a Pudgy Penguin long as of now. Those are my plays that I'm playing right now. Okay. Sui. Currently trading at $3.47. I got some previous chart work here. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff. Sui, I don't know if you've seen some of my previous analysis, but Sui has been in a downtrend. Downtrend, making lower highs here, also making lower lows. This is like kind of like a descending channel here. Let me get rid of the moving averages here, but you can see that Sui's in a descending channel. It's been in this descending channel since July of 2025. Okay. Sui needs to start catching bids here and making higher highs again, because if it keeps doing what it's doing right now, then you're just going to see lower prices, and you're going to see another lower low get formed here. But I currently measured a Fibonacci from the recent low here in September when we got down to like $3.06 to the most recent high here at $3.70. And I got a Fibonacci to work off of here. Right now, Sui is chilling near that golden pocket at $3.46. If Sui catches some bids here, then maybe we might see a little bit of resistance at 356, which is where we were at, you know, during this weekend. We were kind of chilling out at like 356 and higher, okay? But if Sui can catch the bids and actually get past and make a higher high than what it did here on Monday, earlier, you know, a couple of days ago, then we got a 1272 that says 387 could be in play, and then also a 1618 at $4.10 for Sui. Alright. To the downside on Sui, if Sui loses you know, its momentum and goes to lower prices here, I mean, we could come all the way down to the 0.236 at $3.21, and that was the level that we were hanging out at towards the end of September here. However, if you did come down to that level, hopefully you're able to make a higher low, and then we'll go up to higher prices after that. Let me turn the moving averages now. You do have a 200-day moving average kind of hanging out just above that 0.236, and that 200-day moving average is at $3.27. You would think Sui should get some support over there, but you can see that, you know, towards the end of September, we lost 200-day moving average, and then came back up, and then we launched up to higher prices. And Sui might do something like that again, all over again, where we come down 200-day moving average, then we lose the 200-day moving average, and then we come back up again. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Sui decides to do. But these are levels to be looking out for, right here on the Fibonacci. Just measuring from 370 down to 306 is where I pull the fib down. All right, moving on from Sui. We'll take a look at the Celestia. I think that's like what, TIA? Tia, Celestia, currently trading at $1.47, up 1.59% today. I'm looking at the daily chart for Celestia. I don't think I've done any recent chart work on this thing. But as I zoom out, you can see Celestia has had better days. Obviously, going back to like November, December was some of the best days when this thing was trading as high as like $9 during that little altcoin frenzy that we had towards the end of last year. But since then, it's been disappointing, and the only way to make money on this asset was to actually just short it. Okay. Let's see. Every time you came up to the 50-day moving average, you got rejected. This green line, rejection. You come up to the green line again, you get rejected. Come back up to the green line again, you get rejected. Come back up to the green line, you get rejected. So this 50-day moving average is acting as the bully. And this is actually kind of sad to say, because you're not even able to come up to the 200-day moving average. If this thing was more bullish, you would at least get rejected at the 200-day moving average, but you can't even get past the 50-day before you get rejected on Celestia. So what do you think is going to happen next if we go up to higher prices on Celestia? You're going to come up to the 50-day moving average at $1.71, and you're probably going to get rejected again, unless next time is different and you can actually get above the 50-day moving average and maybe try to pick a fight with the 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is at $2.09. Okay, that's going to be another bully that you have to get past. Okay, so these moving averages are just acting as resistance as of now, and until you get past the 50-day, you can't even talk about the 100 or the 200-day moving average being resistance, because the 50-day has been pushing you back down, pushing you back into the locker, and bullying you. Yeah. But what I'm seeing here with Celestia is there's a possibility that you could create a double bottom here. You got to like $1.31 here on June earlier this year, and then you have another bottom here at $1.33. That qualifies as a double bottom. If it's within 1 to 3% of each other, then that is a double bottom. So you got that possibility forming here. Let's turn on the oscillators, see what the RSI is doing. Okay, I think I like what I'm seeing so far on the RSI, because you are creating higher lows here on the RSI. Alright, so with that being said, okay, you got the same low here on Celestia, and you got, for the price, right? For the price, you got the same low, a double bottom, but you got a higher low here on the RSI. That is considered bullish divergence. Okay, that could mean that buyers are stepping up at these prices, and they're liking the price of Celestia at $1.30, $1.40, and you just probably put your stop loss right below $1.30 or at $1.30, somewhere in that area. And I don't think you're risking too much there, right? From going from where we are now down to $1.30, you're risking about 11% right now on your stop loss. But you're risking 11% to see if you can at least get back. I mean, could Celestia get back to the highs here that it saw in July when it was at $2.10? Because if it's able to do that, get down up to $2.10, that's about a 50% gain from where you are right now. And you're risking 10% to get 50%. I think if I pull out the long position here, that should be at least a 3-to-1 ratio, right? Alright, why is this thing taking us all the way down here? But if I take the stop loss and I put it at, what do we say, about $1.30 for the stop loss. And we're just trying to get back up to what we did here in July at like $2.28. So that's going to be your reward. You got a risk-reward ratio of 4.89. Anything above 3 is considered a really good trade to get into. So Celestia could be a good long trade here. You're risking 11% to try and get 56%. Just trying to get back up to the highs here in July. Might be worth taking a shot at for a long. All right. Homer, thank you for following me. Thank you for the follow here. Chris, I'm sorry. Laureen wants me to take a look at Bonk. Take a look at Bonk for you. I actually have some Bonk spot bags myself. I'm a little curious to see how Bonk is doing. And then Live Discipline is asking me about XRP. I think we can take a look at XRP. Yeah, I think we can do that. So that was Celestia. Now we gotta look at Toshi. And then, did you still want to look at Chainlink? Just put a 1 in the chat if you want to look at Chainlink. I know you're asking about Chainlink, Sui, and Tao. Let me know if you still want to look at Chainlink. If not, I mean, I got some other ones to look at here too. All right, let's take a look at Toshi. Toshi is a meme coin. You find it on Coinbase. I think. No, actually, I'll take that back. Anyways, Toshi currently trading at 9,384, up 7.9% today. We have the daily chart for Toshi. Let me get rid of this previous analysis here. Toshi doing the things that you want to see to go up to higher prices. You make it higher low, higher high, higher low. Not really a higher high, okay? Because this was the previous high that was pretty high to begin with. But if you just neglect that, then yeah, you're still kind of making an uptrend, making higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, more higher highs. So Toshi looking fine, looking bullish in my opinion here. You're above the moving averages. The 200-day moving average is sitting below you, just starting to show up on the chart. This red line at 56.21. Then you got the 100 and the 50 above that, sitting at like 65.80. And you're even above the 21 EMA, that white line. So Toshi looking bullish, in my opinion. Davila wants me to take a look at Say. Thank you, Davila, for coming in. We do have some coins before that, so you just got to stick around. But we'll get to Say later on. We got a few more coins here. You look at my list here. For my TikTok guys, you can see the list there too. But yeah, we're looking at Toshi right now. All right, yep. Well, all right. So we'll definitely look at Chainlink after Toshi, okay? All right. Toshi, it's looking fine. I mean, you're making higher lows, higher highs. How much higher could it possibly go? Let me turn on the VRVP. I think that's going to be useful in this instance here. The VRVP, this is all the people that bought and sold at different prices here. With the highest volume node being like right over here at this blue line. This blue line sitting at 7,100. So you're above that. That could be your support if you ever decide to come down to lower prices here. But you're kind of coming up on some resistance right now. You got the value area high, this white line, sitting at 9,080. But after that, there's not that much resistance for Toshi to go to higher prices here. I mean, we might see the prices that we saw back here in January, when this thing was trading at 17,700, and also like right here, like 16,200. So Toshi might have another 50% gain from where it is right now. I don't really have that much data to be working off of. Let me try to do a quick Fibonacci, see if that helps. I might do a trend-based Fibonacci here. Yeah, I think that might work, come into play here. So if we're gonna continue maintaining this trend, right? I'll do the trend-based fib extension here. We'll measure from the lows back here in April to the high that we made here in May, back down to the low here in June, somewhere in this area. And you got a 1382 saying that Toshi get up to like 14,000, and then you got a 1618 saying Toshi get up to 16,000. So yeah, I think those are your levels going forward here. Is Toshi going up to like 14,000 and 16,000, and that's about like a 40 to 60% gain from where you are right now. For the upside on Toshi. All right, moving on from Toshi, we'll take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink USD. I haven't done Bonk yet, Lorraine. Bonk is we gotta look at Chainlink, then we gotta look at Stoke and Griffin, and then Bonk. So Bonk is like 4 more coins. It's got 4 coins ahead of it. Okay. Yes, my laptop camera is on because I am doing a YouTube live stream as well. So, yep, I do YouTube and TikTok. So if you guys here on TikTok, if you want to watch the replay of this stream, you can go on to the Meet Damien YouTube channel here, where you can find me here on YouTube. Alright, come join my subscribers. Come help me get up to like 500 subscribers over here. That's the next goal. I gotta refresh this. I think I'm at like 462 on YouTube. Let me go ahead and click that refresh button there. Yeah, I got a few more subscribers now. But yeah, come join me on the Meet Damien channel here on YouTube, and you can see some more of my content. You'll see all of it. You'll see all the live streams. You'll see the YouTube shorts. If you don't got that much time, okay. And then you can see some of my tutorial videos as well. I got some tutorial videos on TikTok as well, but I haven't uploaded this one video, the how to read a candlestick chart. I gotta figure out a way to upload that onto TikTok. Okay, but yeah, I got the Fibonacci and the VRVP indicator video there. So yeah, come check out Meet Damien on YouTube if you get a chance. Going back to Chainlink. Chainlink is currently trading at $22.21. This thing is up about 1.8%. I do have previous analysis on this chart. Chainlink, as I start to zoom in, it's like hanging out right here at that golden pocket, right above the 618 golden pocket at $21.16. Looks like Chainlink needs to get above this downtrend resistance. It's been making lower highs ever since the middle of August here. I would like to see us get above that and get up to like $24. That's your 786 retracement. And then I want to see us get above $27 here on Chainlink. And then if you can do that and making higher highs than what you did here in August, we got a 1272 fib extension at $32, and then we got a 1618 at $38. Those are some levels I think could get hit for Chainlink in the near future here. However, if Chainlink decides to go down in price for whatever reason and decides, you know, it doesn't want to go up rather than go down, then, you know, if we do go down, we got the 50-day moving average right at $20.58. And then we got some more moving averages below you. We got the 100 at $18.51. But it looks like below you, you got the 200-day moving average, this red line sitting at $17.34. That's confluent with the 0.382 retracement on the Fibonacci. So I think Fibonacci traders and moving average traders, they're going to be targeting $17 on Chainlink. If it ever gets down to that price, there should be a lot of support over here to the downside if Chainlink decides to go down to that price. Alright, moving on from Chainlink, take a look at Stoke. We gotta look at Stoke and then Griffin. Elvis, you really want to know about Algorand? Okay, I'll write that down as one of your requests here for Algorand. Alright. Thank you, Gaza. Yep, I appreciate you following me here on TikTok. Thank you. Alright, let's move on to Stoke. Stoke Therapeutics? It's a stock. Is that what you were trying to ask for here? I gotta go back in the comments. You made a request for Stoke Stone. Is it Stoke Stone or Stake Stone? Because it looks like it's called Stake Stone. And I can find that here on Mexi. These are the droids you're looking for. Stake Stone. Looks like it's trading at just under 18 pennies here. It's up 27% today. I kind of understand why you want to take a look at it right now. Doing some things. So let's just see what this thing has done. This thing started trading on Mexi Exchange April of this year. It did get to higher prices in May, where we saw this thing as high as like 26, 27 pennies here, roughly. You know, as I start to zoom in, I mean, it looks positive price action. I mean, you're making lower highs, but you were making higher lows as well. And now you just caught the bids out of nowhere. What happened here on October 5th? This Sunday, you caught some bids here. You went up 34%, and then you went up another 12% on Monday. Yesterday, while the market was down, you still went up 4% on this thing, and now today you're going up 26%. This thing's catching the bids here. But it looks like you topped out at 21 cents as of now. I will draw a Fibonacci to see where this thing might go next. Topping out there to the bottom over here. Looks like you're kind of chilling just above the golden pocket here. You're above the 0.65 at 0.169 pennies here. And if this thing is going to continue being extremely bullish, then it should make it should make its way back up to that 786 retracement at 0.188 pennies here. I think that's your next upside target if you're day trading this thing. And then can we get back up to 21, 22 pennies here like we did earlier today, right? Let me go into the 1 hour chart here. When did you do that? You came up around 10 a.m. You came up to 21 pennies here. Can you do that? Let's see. Let's go look at the oscillators. You are still overbought on the RSI here. You got a little bit of bearish divergence showing up on the 1 hour chart. I think this thing needs to like chill out for a little bit, consolidate before it tries to make a run to higher prices here. But very nice to see, you know, that this thing is going up to higher prices here. But you know, is it sustainable, or are you going to come down just as fast as you went up? Because if you do come down just as fast as you went up, you might come down to this 0.236 retracement at 11 pennies here, which is slightly above where that 21 EMA is. The 21 EMA can't even provide you support until you come down to where it's at. It's at 10 cents right now. 21 EMA hanging out at 10 cents. And the 0.236 at 11 cents. So be careful, alright? This thing could drop down to like 10 or 11 cents if it's not going to be a sustainable move. If it's going to continue being overly bullish, then yeah, 786 at 18 pennies all over again. But that's what I'd be looking for. I'd be very careful with this one. Okay? Because usually when you make a high move here in cryptocurrency move, I've seen a lot of cryptocurrencies just drop right back. They don't drop down to like where they started off from, but it ends up being like a pretty steep retracement where you get down to that 236 retracement. It's like almost like a 70% drop. Like if this thing dropped down further from where it is right now to that 0.236, that's about a 36% drop. Okay, and for those who bought the top here, that's even further, because like that's like a 48% drop for whoever bought here around 10 a.m. this morning. Okay, but it's still possible. Still possible. So just be careful. You know, don't go all in, but not financial advice. You do whatever you want to do, though. Just letting you know that what I've seen with these cryptocurrencies in the past is that they can come down just as fast as they went up if they don't have any staying power behind them. All right, let's look at Griffin now. Let's see how Griffin's doing. Graphane USDT on Mexi, sure. Graphane, I'm not sure how to say it, but Graphane is trading at 3 cents, up 1.6% today. We're on the daily time frame for Graphane. Just trying to see what this thing has done in the past. Obviously, it had a really good year, or really good Christmas last year, like a lot of altcoins, and then just like every other altcoin you can think of, it's been in a bear market since then, right? You got some of the moving averages starting to form up. You got the 50-day, that green line, the 100-day is that blue line, and the 200-day is that red line. And you're still below those moving averages as of today. Looks like the lowest lows for the year came in back here in April. You were as low as like 2.5 pennies here. Try to make a higher low here, but then not really, because then you made a lower low, and a lower low. So, as well as, of course, you had to make lower highs to get down to those lower lows. I don't know about this one. I'm not seeing anything that makes me want to jump up and start buying it. Because you're below the 200-day moving average, right? That red line. I have to be bearishly biased, which I am on this asset. 200-day moving average is at 0.048 pennies. If you can get up to that basically 5 cents, you're going to be above the 200-day moving average, and then I can be bullish again on this asset. There might be some light at the end of the tunnel here. Could this be a double bottom that you were trying to form here in September? From the beginning of September and the end of September? I don't know. I don't know. That could be the start of seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here. Let's look at the oscillators here. Are we creating bullish divergence? I'm just gonna get rid of these indicators for now. We'll just collapse that one. So here we go. All right. Looks like back here in August you had a RSI reading of 34. Over here you had an RSI reading of 39. And then over here in September 25th, RSI reading of 35.62. Still higher than what you did here in August. Maybe. You have a little bit of higher low action here on the RSI. And of course, you have made lower lows here on price. So you got bullish divergence. There is bullish divergence, believe it or not, on this asset. You got bullish divergence, you have a little bit of a double bottom, so you're doing what you need to at least stop the bleeding. Okay? Stop the bleeding, stop going down. Buyers are starting to show up based on what I've seen with the RSI and what the price action is doing. Also, you create this double bottom. That's something to work with here. But then the next order of business is, can we get above that 200-day moving average at 0.048 pennies here? If you just want to play, buying here and selling at the 200-day moving average, then let's see. Let's do a long position on that. Starting from here, I'll probably put the stop loss right below the lows, the candlewick low. You're gonna risk 12% to try and get up to the 200-day moving average, 51%. That's not too bad. You got a risk-reward ratio of 4. So if you're trading this, if you're swing trading this, maybe day trading it with some leverage, it's not that bad of a risk-reward ratio. Just trying to get back up to the 200-day moving average. You're risking 12% to try and get 51%. Slap on 2x leverage, and 2x leverage, that's risking 24% to try and get like 102% with 2x leverage. Might be worth throwing your hat in the ring on that one. That's all I got for you for Griffin. Yep. I would just put the stop loss below the low here on Tuesday, September 30th, around like 27.90 is where I would put that stop loss. That red number, 27.86. Yeah, somewhere around that area is where I put the stop loss on this one. And you're only losing 12% if you're wrong. Abraham is asking about Peanut. And Elvis thinks I'm cool. Thank you, Elvis. I think you're cool too. Peanut. Alright. We got about 8,500 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can just double tap that screen some more. Let's see if we can get up to like 9,000 or even 10,000 on the likes here for TikTok. YouTube guys, you got a lot of work to do clicking that like button. Nah, I know. See, in TikTok, you can do like 100 likes for one person, but like YouTube, you only get 1 like. That's it. But I appreciate you guys hitting that like button for me. Bonk. Yes, we are coming up on Bonk. That's like the next one after Griffin. And then we got XPR, Say, Algo, and then Peanut. All right, let's look at Bonk. USD. Here it is for ya. Alright. Let me go ahead and adjust this. I don't know if I want to keep doing extend light lines to the right. I think this is a little bit better. It's a little bit less messy. Less clutter on the chart. Bonk currently trading at, we're just going to call that 2018. You're up 1.9% today. It's nice. Congratulations. Bonk is kind of like hanging out near the 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average sitting at 2002. And Bonk, I mean, I guess you can call this a bull flag, maybe. I mean, you took it down. Like, this is a retracement. I did a Fibonacci from like 1360, right? Where Bonk caught the initial move here in July, up to around 38. And Bonk took us all the way down to the 0.236 retracement at 1945, and then a little bit further below that. And it took you right down to the 200-day moving average before you were able to catch some support here. Make it lower high, lower high, lower high. But thankfully, I mean, you flirted around with losing the 200-day moving average, but thankfully here you actually are trying to use it as support. And if you can just launch up to higher prices from here, there is a 50-day moving average that might act as resistance at 24.15, and I believe that's like a 20% increase from where you are right now. Slap on some 5x leverage, and that's about a 100% gain. And then you're gonna see if you can get above that last lower high here at 27.49. Let's do another long position for this one, right? Okay. So if we're gonna game plan this one out, right? If we're gonna try to do a trade here, put your stop loss right below the lows for the week at 1944. So we came down to like 1950 here, so like 1944 on your stop loss. If you're day trading this, you're gonna take this up to the 50-day moving average right over here. It's a 19% gain, and you're only risking 3.5. And your risk reward ratio is about 5.5. That's a really good risk reward ratio. Now, if you want to make your stop loss a little bit looser than that, you can take it all the way down to the lows from last week, where we were as low as 1833 last Tuesday. So you're risking 9% to try to get up to that 50-day moving average. But now look at your risk reward ratio. It's not really that great. It's like 2 to 1. Some people might still take that, but if you're gonna do this trade, you probably want to go further than the 50-day moving average. You're probably gonna try to take this up to like what we did here in the middle of September when we got to like 2700, and then your risk reward ratio becomes a little bit better. You're gonna now risk 9% to try and get 30%, and that's a 3 to 1 ratio right there. So all depends on what you want to do. I think for the day traders, you're just trying to see if you can go from the 200-day moving average back up to that 50-day moving average. But for the swing traders, you're probably going to be in it with less leverage, or maybe just spot trading it, and you're just trying to buy here to see if you can get up to like where we were in the middle of September before you click that sell button, if you're trading this. And if you're in it for the long term, then yeah, you want to see if you know, Bonk can get back up to what it did here in July when we were as high as like 4,000. That's basically like a double in price, but you're gonna have to wait for that, and there's no guarantee that you're gonna actually get back up there too. All right, I see Trade Intuitions in the chat. Good to see you, Trade. It looks like you might have brought a couple of people with you. I see we got a few more people in the live stream here. Put a 1 in the chat if you're still in here. Besides Trade and Davila, I see you guys are in here, and we are going to look at Say Davila. That's going to come up after XRP. We got XRP after this, and then we got to look at Say after this. But Bonk is looking like it might be worth getting into for a meme coin trade here. Just keep staying above that 2-day moving average as of now. We gotta look at Ripple, XRP. I'm not sure if I want to continue doing the extend lines to the right here on these charts here. I'm just going to adjust this here. Alright. XRP currently trading at $2.89. Up 1.5% today. And you're above the 200-day moving average and the 100-day moving average. You get the 50 and the 21 EMA could act as resistance at 291 and 294. If you can get above that 50-day moving average, which I think a lot of traders are using for their charts here, it would probably signify that we can be more bullish here on XRP. And then of course you gotta see if you can get above these candlewick highs here that you made back here on Thursday of last week. Can you get above 310? Get above 310, and then you get, of course, get above this other previous high here in September at 318. So I think 310 and 318 are going to be some take profit targets for the day traders out there. For the swing traders, you're waiting for the 786 retracement at 328. And then also back here, you got some highs here on August when we were as high as 338. 338 would be nice to see for a nice swing trade on XRP. If you were to try to game plan that out, if you're in this for like a swing trade here, put the stop loss. I mean, you can put it tighter than this. Yeah, probably right around here, below these candlewick lows. So you're risking about 3% on the stop loss, and you're trying to get up to that 328, 330 level, somewhere around there. It's about a 15% trade, 15% reward, and your risk reward ratio is 4.97, almost 5. Anything better than 3 is great. You know, a 3 on the risk reward ratio is considered a good trade. Anything higher than that is a great trade to get into. So I think this is a great trade for XRP if we can just get back up to where we were in the beginning of August. Can XRP even do that? We shall see. So I put the stop loss tight on XRP, and I think it'll be alright. Just put that stop loss right below the lows here on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week, where we got as low as like 281. So maybe stop loss at 281 or 280, somewhere around that area. I think you'll be fine on XRP. But if you're day trading XRP, you're probably doing something like this, where you're just trying to see if we get back up to the highs here last Thursday at like 310, and you're gonna probably put your stop loss right below the lows for today. And you're only risking about 2% to try and get 7%. And your risk reward ratio is 3.09. And if 7% is not good enough for you, well, obviously you're gonna be leverage trading it, but you could do a 10x leverage, and that gives you 70% here. And you know, 10x leverage would put the stop loss at 2%, it would actually become 20% for your before you get stopped out. David Brumbly is in the chat, and he's saying hi to John 316, 1718. And John 316 says Bitcoin is pumping. Is it? Is it really? I mean, that'd be nice if it is. Bitcoin at 123,700. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. Bitcoin getting above the 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. Thank God. All right, that's good to see. So Bitcoin cashing those bids. Let's see what the 1 hour time frame looks like on Bitcoin. Getting above the 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. So Bitcoin is doing some positive things over the last couple hours here. All right, so you are doing the thing here, and if Bitcoin continues going up, I think, you know, we'll see if we can get past this high from yesterday where we saw Bitcoin as high as 125,226. If you're trading Bitcoin, day trading it, you might want to put your take profit at like 125k, or maybe 124,900. We shall see. We shall see. But that's nice to see. Bitcoin's catching some bids here. Let me see on my watch list. Looks like AVAX is doing pretty well at up 3.8%. AI16 up 5%. Pudgy Penguin up 7%. Oh, I'm actually in a Pudgy Penguin trade. Let's see how that trade's doing right now. Pudgy Penguin is up 39% for me. My Sui trade's up 25% and KSM up 16%. I'm in a 15x long on Pudgy Penguin, 10x on KSM, and a 10x on Sui. Yay! I'm making money! I'm gonna have to probably move my stop losses up at some point. I guess I could do that right now. I'll do that right now with you guys, right? Gotta be showing you guys how to do things the right way here. So on Pudgy Penguin, I'm gonna have to move my stop loss. I got my entry here at 31.78, so I'll just put that as 31.78. So instead of having my stop loss where I could lose 35 bucks, now I'll lose nothing. I'm in the trade for free. Thank you. I'll take that. Thank you, thank you. And then KSM, let's see, KSM, do I want to move that to break even yet? So my qualification for day trading, guys, here, so that way I don't get stopped out right away. I usually wait until I'm up like 24-25% on a trade before I bring the stop loss to break even. So I can actually do that here with Sui. We're up like 23%. So actually, I'll do the Sui trade. I'll put that towards break even as of now. Cause like, what's the likelihood that I'll lose 25% and actually get stopped out at break even? Probably not that likely. So let's see. Sui 3.4466. I'm now at break even on Sui. Before I think I was at a $20 stop loss. But now I can make that break even. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait a little bit on KSM here until I'm up 25%, and then I'll move that stop loss to break even for that one. But if this thing decides to drop down on me on the long and I get stopped out, I'll only lose about 32 bucks, which, you know, kind of sucks, but, you know what, maybe I'll move it up a little bit here. I don't want to lose 32 bucks. I'll probably put the stop loss at like, yeah, $14.16. I'll lose 22 bucks. I can live with that. I can live with that. So that's just part of risk management there, guys. I'm now in a free trade on Sui. It's not going to cost me any money. Pudgy Penguin's not going to cost me any money to stay in the trade. Because KSM, it's going to cost me $22 if I'm wrong. But eventually, you know, once this thing gets up to like 25%, I will move the stop loss to break even and stay in the trade a little bit longer until my take profit gets hit. All right, back to what we were looking at XRP, right? Now we gotta look at Say, Algo, and Peanut. Let's take a look at the Say here. What say you? What say you? I forgot who even requested Say, but what say you, guy who requested Say? Say currently trading at 29 cents, up 2.1% today. Trying to get back up to this 200-day moving average. This probably gonna act as resistance initially. That 200-day moving average is sitting at 0.291 pennies here. I think that's where you can expect some resistance. Maybe you can break past it a little bit. That'd be nice to see, especially if Bitcoin's going to go to all-time highs. But if Bitcoin gets rejected at 125, 126k, then I'm expecting this thing to get rejected at that 200-day moving average. Maybe come down a little bit until Bitcoin's done dropping down on us. But as of now, you're having a good day, and wow, you're getting a nice solid green candle here. Like there's like no candle wick below you, and there's no candle wick above you. This thing is on a run right now on the daily candle here. On the 1 hour candle, I'm looking at the 1 hour. Okay. So I'm a little bit confused here. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I was looking at the daily time frame here, but that 1 hour time frame, yeah, expect some resistance at 29 cents. Let's get into the daily time frame. See what it looks like on the daily chart. Sorry, guys. I thought I was looking at the daily. Alright, let me get rid of this here. So I did draw some fibs here. I think I drew it from like back here when this was at 16 cents. On June, earlier this summer, up to the highs here at 39 cents in July. And I got this Fibonacci to work with here now. On the upside, you would expect some resistance at 30 pennies. 31 pennies is your golden pocket level. That's also kind of like where the 50-day moving average is hanging out at, this green line. So I'm expecting 30, 31 pennies to be resistance. Or Say. I think that was like the same thing that the 1 hour chart was showing, right? No, it was like 29 pennies. But still, you're coming up on some resistance right now to the upside on Say. I would expect Say to kind of like go sideways for a little bit, show us that you can hold 30 pennies before you launch up to higher prices, and then we're looking at 786 retracement at 34 pennies, and that's a level that you were at back here in the middle of September. Got some candle wick highs around that area. I expect this to be the next resistance after 30 pennies. Okay, now that'd be like another 10% move up in price as well. So you're taking it level by level here. If you're going to continue being bullish here on Say, and yeah, you can be bullish on Say because you are above the 200-day moving average, which is right below you, and you're also above the 100-day moving average. Looks like the 100-day moving average did act as support earlier today. That was sitting at 27.278 pennies, which is confluent with this 0.5 retracement. So TA is getting respected on Say. They are definitely respecting the TA. Everything's organized, okay? Nothing crazy here. Nothing's getting violated here on the technical analysis side of things here. So I think Say is looking fine to go to higher prices here. And then you do have support at that 28 cent level is where you can get some cheaper Say at this moment. And then even more support at that 200-day moving average at 25 pennies. That would suck if you came down there, but you do have support. You get the 200-day and you get the 0.382. Alright, moving on from Say, we'll take a look at Algorand. Algorand on Coinbase. Hello, Cameron. Good afternoon to you. And oh, okay, you're from the UK. I think you might have told me that before, but sometimes I forget. I know I have another guy here on YouTube. Jesse is from Europe. I can't remember what country he's from. I think he might be Netherlands, or maybe you're from England. I don't know. I can't remember. But I know I see Jesse on other people's live streams, like Crypto Princess. I know Crypto Princess. She's from Britain. and she shows up every now and then. It's good to see these other YouTubers show up. After I do Algorand here, I'll give a shout out to Trade Intuition. Show you guys Trade Intuition's YouTube channel. All right. Let me just take a look. Did I get a request? Did someone request AVAX? Spark said AVAX $35 is possible. I think $35 is possible with AVAX, yeah. I don't think I need to look at the chart, but last time I looked at AVAX, I think $40 or $45 is a possibility for AVAX. Especially if Bitcoin's going to new all-time highs. Algorand, currently trading at 22.5 pennies roughly. Up 3.24% today. Let me just get rid of the moving averages for now. Algorand, I did identify that Algorand was kind of in a descending triangle on the daily time frame here. And what did you do? You actually had a little bit of a fake out where the bears got a little excited, like, oh my god, we're gonna short this thing down to like maybe 15 or 10 pennies here. And that was a little fake out, and then we came right back into the descending triangle. But now you kind of have to make a decision now on Algorand. Are we gonna continue making lower highs like we did all throughout the summer here? Or are we gonna start catching some bids and actually making higher highs? And if we are able to catch some bids and make some higher highs, maybe this 0.5 retracement at 25 pennies could act as resistance. But I would expect us to at least get a lot of resistance at 27 pennies, which is where your golden pocket level is sitting at for Algorand. Let me throw in the moving averages. I bet you the moving averages are going to probably bunch up somewhere in those price level ranges. Oh, actually no, I take that back. The 50-day moving average could act as resistance, and that's going to be around 24 pennies. So I think anywhere between 24 pennies to like 27 pennies is going to be some resistance for Algorand. Once you get past 27 pennies, then you got to see if you can start breaking past these previous highs here in August. Where we got up as high as like 29 pennies, which is almost confluent with a 786 retracement at 30 pennies. So you got some levels to work with to get past on Algorand. And then of course, can you get back up to the highs here in July? Oh, we shall see. We shall see. But if this descending triangle ends up playing out as a bull flag, I'll even draw that one out for you. If this ends up being a bull flag here, you just take that measured move, you put it so it's like where we could break out of Algorand at 22 pennies here. And this measured move is saying that Algorand can get you up to like 41 pennies, that blue number right there, which is slightly above that 1272 fib extension at 39 pennies. So this is your long-term take profit target, maybe end of the cycle. If we have an end of the cycle later on this year, if Bitcoin gets up to like $200,000 and then that's it for this cycle, then I would think Algorand could at least get up to like 41 cents, and that'd be almost a double from where you are right now. And you should be happy, because not only will Bitcoin be doubling in price roughly, but then this thing will be doubling in price, roughly. I know a double would be like almost like 44 or 45 cents where you are right now, but you do have a 1618 at 45 cents, so maybe it does double up from where it is right now. See, Duality C, good to see you, Duality C, and Ava Medina. Oh my god, I feel like I'm in like Road Dogg's live stream right now, because I got the same guys from Road Dogg are checking me out on YouTube as of now. Good to see you guys here. Let me go ahead and give out a shout out. I guess I'll give a shout out to Road Dogg, and I'll give a shout out to Trade Intuition as of now, because he is in the chat. Good to see you, Trade Intuition. And this is Trade Intuition's live stream. So guys, I usually go live same time as Trade Intuition, like 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. But if for some reason I don't show up and you're still looking for some good TA on the charts, then you guys want to check out Trade Intuition here. He has about a couple of thousand subscribers. He's putting in the work with over 1,500 videos here, and he does go live, you know, like I said, every day, even on the weekends too. You can catch him at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely worth checking out Trade Intuition's channel here. Okay. You guys can find him on TikTok. I think he is trying to produce more content on TikTok. So my TikTok guys, you can check out. Just type in Trade Intuition. You'll find him there as well. And then we have another crypto YouTuber that comes onto my channel. I go onto his channel. He gives me a shout out. I give him a shout out. So yeah, let's check out Road Dogg here real quick. And this is Road Dogg's YouTube channel. He also has a couple thousand subscribers. He's putting in the work at 1,300 videos so far on YouTube. And he goes live almost every day, but he's a nighttime guy for the most part. Sometimes he does live streams during the afternoon, but you can catch him like 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So after you see my live stream, you guys can do whatever you need to do, and then if you want to watch some more TA on the charts, you come over here to Road Dogg's channel, and you can see some of the good TA. He does the moving average strategies, the multiple moving averages like I do. He does the Fibonacci like I do, and I mean Joe does it too. I'm from Trade Intuition. He does the Fibonacci as well. I think almost all the good traders do Fibonacci. It's a very useful tool. But yeah, Road Dogg, you can catch him live and catch some of his shorts, YouTube short videos, and his YouTube shorts are great. I looked at them. It just kind of like teaches you how to be a better trader by giving you some inspirational things. I think he did use like AI to create these videos. But yeah, it's very interesting YouTube shorts that Road Dogg has created to help you become a better trader with your psychology, the trading psychology of things. Okay. But yeah, let's get back into the charts here one more time. We'll take a look at Peanut. Man, I haven't had anybody request Peanut the Squirrel in a long time. It seems like people kind of forgot about that coin. It was a big thing like a year ago. After, unfortunately, they accidentally or whatever they did, the squirrel died at the hands of the government, and then that's when people just like, oh my god, government overreach, and they made a meme coin out of it. But anyways, Peanut the Squirrel on the daily chart, looking at this thing trading at 21.5 pennies, up 3% today. Peanut the Squirrel kind of looking like a lot of the altcoins. Has had its better days when it first came out last year, during the altcoins season that we had in November and December of last year. But ever since then, it's been lower high, of course lower lows to make the lower highs, and more lower highs, and I mean, just a bear market in this meme coin here. Let me just go back. How high did Peanut Squirrel get? About as high as $2.50. So this thing has done a 90% drop in price. That sounds like an old coin to me. This definitely sounds like a meme coin to me. Alright? So you gotta be careful with these meme coins, guys. Not financial advice, but these meme coins, they can drop down 90% on you. I think a lot of people found out what meme coins can really do. A lot of retail investors found out that meme coins can blow up your account. But I mean, Bitcoin has done that as well. We've seen Bitcoin drop 90%, 80% from all-time highs. That's kind of like the thing that cryptocurrencies do. Alright. So, now that you got the bigger picture there with Peanut, still making lower highs. However, are you making lower lows? Looks like the lows came in here April. Earlier this year, when this thing was as low as 11 cents here. 11, 12 cents. Then you got another higher low here in June. Kind of like another higher low here in September. And could you still be making higher lows here? Because if you are, then that's what you need to see to at least see the light at the end of the tunnel here and become bullish again. Another thing that you need to see here with Peanut is you got to get above that 200-day moving average. Okay, looks like you tried. You tried to get above the 200-day moving average here in July, then you lost it. And you tried again here in August, you lost it. Tried again here in September, you lost it. But this is showing that you're putting up a fight to try and be bullish here. I want to see Peanut the Squirrel be putting up another fight here, get above that 200 moving average, and stop losing it. Like, can you at least stay above the 200 moving average? 200 moving average sitting at like 23 pennies here in that red number right there. You're sitting at 23 pennies, right, on 200 moving average. Can you do that? Can you get above 23 pennies and stay above 23 pennies? Because if you're doing that, then you can then look for the next thing that you need to be bullish. And the next thing you need to do is, can you stop making lower highs? Can you actually make higher highs rather than lower highs? The last lower high that you have to get above, in this case, is you got to get up to like 28, 29 cents. You get up to like 28, 29 cents, and more people will be more interested in Peanut, because then they know like this thing might not actually be going down anymore. You're actually going to be creating an uptrend, right? So like you want to see something like this. Get above the 200 moving average. Maybe go past it. Come down to the 200 moving average. Use that as support. Make a higher low. Then can you get up to the last higher high at 29 cents? Make a higher high than that. Get up to like 30 cents. You start doing that, then you're creating an uptrend. And this might be the bottom for Peanut. But let's look at the RSI here. Let's see if we got any bullish divergence showing up. Yeah, kinda. In the longer term, I bet you if I go into the weekly chart, it would be probably more pronounced. Let me see the weekly chart here. I mean, this is what the weekly chart looks like with the RSI. You are trending upward. That is good to see. You're not oversold like you were in like March of this year, in April. Like, let's see, go back and say maybe I'll take it down to the 3-day chart. Yeah, you're trending upward on the RSI, so buyers are showing up. And they didn't really start showing up until, you know, Peanut dropped down to like, 11 pennies here. Basically like a 95% drop. Like, just to give you guys an idea of like how devastating meme coins can be, right? Let's just measure this. Like, let's say you were that unfortunate soul here that bought at $2.50 here, okay? And you came all the way down to 11 pennies or 12 pennies. 95% drop in price. If you can stomach a 95% drop in price, then maybe you can invest in meme coins. But if you can't stomach a 95% drop, then you have no business being in meme coins. Because that's what meme coins can do to you. And now, you know, that poor unfortunate soul that bought at 250. Now we have Peanut trading at 21 pennies. Now they're at try to measure this out. They're at a 91% drop in price from where they bought. Their portfolio shows that if they went all in on Peanut at 250, they're only down 91%. Not as bad as 95, but still a 91% drop in your portfolio. You basically said goodbye to your money this past year. But for those who are a little bit smarter about meme coins, the smart money, they know that 90%, 95% drops are possible, and now they're buying Peanut the Squirrel coin at a 95% discount to what they could have got it for a year ago. So now you can start trying to make money off of Peanut the Squirrel, because you're now making higher lows here, and you're gonna see if you can try to make higher highs and get above, like, you know, can you get above 28, 29 pennies on Peanut the Squirrel? Trade Intuition says he loves the fibs, and John316 wants to take a look at Pepe. And David says, if I say Road Dog 3 times, he'll show up. Alright, I'll say it right now. Road Dog, Road Dog, Road Dog Crypto. Are you going to show up into the stream? Are you lurking right now, Road Dog? Maybe Road Dog is here, and he just hasn't said anything in the chat. But if he is, let us know if you're in the chat, Road Dog. Alright. Oh, that's right. We got to take a look at Zcash. So I'm gonna look at Pepe for John316, and then I'm gonna take a look at Zcash, because that is a coin that actually it's been doing pretty well. over the last couple of weeks here. Tariq says, "Hello, pilot." Hello, Tariq. Yes, I can fly airplanes. I can also teach people how to fly airplanes. I'm a flight instructor. So if I can teach people how to fly airplanes, I think I can teach you guys how to read the charts here too. And I'm actually teaching people how to read the charts. If you guys want to do a one-on-one class session, tutoring session on how to be a better trader, how to read the charts, then we can do like a Zoom meeting. And I've done this with somebody already in September, and they want to do another class. But I am doing like one-on-one tutoring sessions on Zoom for like $60 for the hour for a 1-hour class. And we get into like how to do leverage trading, what is leverage trading, how much I'm looking for when I put in my stop losses, and all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to learn how to become a better trader, then we can do a Zoom meeting, and then you just pay me through Venmo or PayPal, and that's when we get class started. But yeah, if you also want to learn how to fly an airplane, let me know too. We can get in an airplane, and I can teach you how to fly. All right. Tariq says Render and Fetch AI. Which one do I like? I would probably pick Render because it has a little bit of a use case. Fetch AI, I was in Fetch AI a year ago, and then they just confused the hell out of me when they they did like a merger with Artificial Super Intelligence Coin, and then they became ASI, but then they kept the name Fetch AI, and it's just, I don't know. I don't think they even know what they're doing over there, and I just got out of it. Like they're confusing me as an investor, and I think they're confusing themselves. But I was intrigued to see that they were trying to do a merger. Like I never heard of like cryptocurrencies merging together. I've heard of them like going their separate ways, but I never heard of them actually, you know, trying to do a merger. Like I've heard of like, you know, what is it? When Bitcoin got split into like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold. What did they call that? They call that, I forgot the official term of that, but that happened like in 2017. But to see two coins try to merge together, two blockchains try to merge together, that to me was interesting. All right, let's take a look at, we gotta look at some other coins here. We gotta look at Pepe. That's right. So I am looking at Pepe right now on the daily chart. Oh, actually, I can change that to the daily chart. Daily chart here for Pepe. Pepe kind of doing the same thing that I see a lot of altcoins doing, and you're just making lower highs here. You got a high here in May at like 1630, and then a lower high here in July, lower high here in September, and then like, come on, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do another lower high again? You are making higher lows here, but it's game time. Like it's time to actually show what you're made out of here, Pepe. Pepe has to get above the moving averages above it, which are acting as resistance. The 200-day is sitting at 1044. 100-day sitting at 1120. 50-day sitting at 1088. I think once you get past those moving averages, if you can use that as support instead of resistance, then you can start trying to make a case to where can we go to higher prices and actually make higher highs. Can you get above what you did here in July at 1475? I measured this out before. We have looked at the measure move here. You can get up to where you were in July. That's about a 47% increase. I actually have to readjust this because Pepe has gone down just a little bit, but all that does is that makes the payoff a little bit juicier. Okay, stop loss, I think you can continue keeping the stop loss right below here on Thursday, where you got as low as like 887. It's like 885 on the stop loss. You're risking 8% to try and get 52%, and your risk reward ratio is right there at 6.3. That's a good risk reward ratio. let's pull this down a little bit. Let's see if we just get up to the lower high here in September. If you get up to the lower high here in September, that's a 31% reward, and your risk is about 8%. So I still think going long on Pepe is worth it. And just put your stop loss right below what you were at on Thursday. And if Pepe goes below what you did here on Thursday, and Bitcoin's still going to like higher prices, all-time highs, there might be something wrong with Pepe, and you probably want to get the hell out of it. Or there might be some manipulation going on. Who knows? But it's okay to cut your losses and try to move on to something that has that actually has money going into it. All right. Chima wants me to look at Doodle. Is that a meme coin? Doodle? And I do want to look at Zcash. So I want to look at Zcash first, and then I'll look at Doodle. Zcash is a coin that is actually having money going into it. Let's take a look at Zcash. Zcash, wow, look at that, huh? Zcash is up 36% today. So you see, like what I'm saying, like you could be in Pepe and cross your fingers, or you can just come and join the party here with Zcash. Zcash is up 36% right now. After already having some good days earlier in October, we saw Zcash up 22% October 4th, and we saw it up 62% on October 1st. So Zcash having a good month of October right now. And I have pulled a Fibonacci. Zcash got to like 163 bucks. I'm gonna have to readjust this now. We got to like $176. So Zcash had its normal retracement down to the 618 at $127. We actually came as low as 125 bucks on Tuesday and 125.83 on Wednesday here. And Zcash cashing those bids. And if Zcash keeps cashing those bids, you got the 1272 above you at 212 bucks, and then you get the 1618 at 256 bucks. Okay. And just game planning this out, I mean, you kind of missed the move. I wouldn't really want to be buying right now after this nice green engulfing bullish engulfing candle on the daily time frame here. But if you want to play that game and take on the risk here, jeez, you know, conservatively, your stop loss would probably be like right below the lows for today, and that's about a 27% stop loss. But your reward, you're just trying to see if this thing can get up to $256 at 1618. Yeah, you'll probably get a 48% gain possibly if you do that. But your risk reward ratio is 1.75. I don't know if I like that. Let's see if I can go into smaller time frames here. Maybe you could put the oh man, even the 200 MA on the 1 hour time frames at 135 bucks. You could try to move the stop loss to 135 bucks maybe, and your risk reward is now 2. Yeah. I feel like you missed out on this long here on Zcash. You try putting maybe you could try putting the stop loss at the 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, and that's at 152 bucks here. And if you're gonna ride that puppy, you got a stop loss of 12%, and the reward is still 48%, and now your risk reward ratio is 4. That's a little bit better of a trade there. But I mean, this thing could easily come right back down to that 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, stop you out, and then continue going up, and you're like, oh, I was right, but then I was still stopped out. I mean, that's what you get for trying to catch a green candle, you know, on the daily on a nice big green candle, bullish engulfing green candle. But yeah, if you're not gonna leverage trade it, then you could probably put your stop loss right below the lows for today. You're still risking 28%, but you're risking 28% to try and get that 48% on Zcash here. All right, yeah, I think I'm ready to check out Doodle. And Tariq wants to know about XYO. I think I lost my music. I need to go put on another song here. Let's see. Let's try this one. Doodle. Let's take a look at Doodle. Yankee Doodle. I don't know. All right, Doodle. I think this is the one that you're looking for, or Doodles. Currently trading at 1 penny, down 4% today. It looks like you had a really good day yesterday, up 61%. I'd be careful with this one, because you have a big whip to the top. I guess I can draw a fib from there. You've already come down to, it looks like it came down to the 0.5 retracement at a penny. If this thing decides to go down to lower prices, there's a 0.382 at 8.5 pennies roughly. And then there's a 0.236 at 6.5 pennies. I think this is a more likely level to get hit. All right. You could come down just as fast as you went up. But it looks like you have some support here from like over the weekend and last Friday. This thing was trading at roughly 6 and 7 pennies here. So the people that bought here, they're in profit right now. But if the price was to come down, they would just be at break even, and they're not gonna hit the sell button until you lose about 6 pennies, and then they're gonna get anxious, like, oh my god, I gotta get out before I lose my money. And then there'll be more selling pressure. But if you do come down to like 6 or 7 pennies, they're not gonna click the sell button just yet, because they'll be at break even. They might want to stick around and see if this thing's gonna bounce back up. So I think 6.5 pennies is your target to the downside to buy some cheaper Doodles. Could be something here at 8.5 pennies, but there's really nothing there besides the Fibonacci saying that 0.382 at 8.5 pennies could get respected. And if you're still bullish on this asset, then you would stop going down right now and you'll go back up, and we still got the 618, which didn't really get respected. We just dropped down right away. The 618 is at 0.012 pennies and 65 at 0.13 pennies. That could be some resistance, and that makes sense because that's about like a 25% gain from where you are, 30% gain. Someone might think that's a good area to buy now and sell here and get a nice 30% gain. And then you got a 786 at a penny and a half, which is also another number that people would probably try to take profit at, because if you're buying now and you get up to that 786 retracement, that's about a 45% gain. That's almost like 50%. That's good enough for some people to call it a day and move on to something else. But 786 retracement at a penny and a half could be your upside target on Doodles. All right, moving on from Doodles, we'll take a look at XYO. And John, you said Bitcoin's breaking all-time high today. Right now, Bitcoin's at 124K. We'll take a look at Bitcoin before I end the live stream, but that's good to hear. I think just off the corner of my eye, I can see Bitcoin at 124K. So you are right about that. Let's take a look at XYO. And just for quick reference here, is Bitcoin? Yeah, Bitcoin at 124K. Very nice, very nice. Good to see. Keep doing that, Bitcoin, please. Thank you very much. Still living up to the name of October. We had a correction that threw people off on crypto, but that was just all the buying opportunity apparently. All right, so we are looking at XYO. XYO currently trading just less than a penny. We're gonna call that 915. I do have some Fibonacci that I done. I pulled the fib from 862 all the way up to 1567. Where did I get that from? I'm trying to think where I might have to redo the Fibonacci here. I think I pulled this from like from here to here. But we got up to, yeah, I'm gonna redo the fib. Yeah. XYO. Market structure wise, still making lower highs. However, you started making higher lows since April, so that's good to see. But what I want to see next for XYO is, can you get above the 2-day moving average? Because every time you get above it, you don't stay there for, you don't even stay there for 1 day. Okay, 200-day moving average continues acting as a bully. And if you get back up to 200-day moving average, you have to basically get to a penny, 10.50. But if I was to measure it out right now, if you can just get right up to 10.50, about like a 15% gain. Not bad, not bad. Now let's do a long position on this one too, okay? Measuring from here, okay, we put the stop loss below the lows in October. About 869 would be where the stop loss is at, 870, somewhere in that area. And just getting right back up to the 200. You're gonna get 15% for a risk of 4%, 4.5%. Your risk reward ratio is 3.29. If 15% is not good enough, you can slap on some 10x leverage, make that 150%, but you're risking 4%, which will then get 10x, and that would be about 46%. So you're risking 46% to try and get 150%, but I still think that's worth taking a day trade on, in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's what all you're working with for XYO. I'm not sure if you're day trading or if you're in this for like long-term spot trade, spot bags here. But I probably wouldn't be in this thing for the long term. I just day trade this one. There's better things to be in long term. You can be in Bitcoin, you can be in Ethereum for the long term. XYO, I would just day trade this one. Maybe I would swing trade it. Hold on to it for a few weeks, few months, and that's about it. Alright, we got up to like 10,300 likes here on the TikTok stream. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. And thank you guys for following me on TikTok. And I think I seen a new subscriber on YouTube. Appreciate that. And thank you guys for hitting the like button on YouTube as well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin one more time on the way out. I think that's going to be it for today. Coming up on the 2-hour mark here on my live stream here. Bitcoin was at 124K about a few minutes ago. Oh, there it is, back at 124K. Thank you, sir. Looking at the daily time frame here for Bitcoin. I'm going to eventually get into the smaller time frames, but here on the daily time frame, Bitcoin's still in an uptrend. You can now consider this all-time high a higher high. Could this have been just a shallow pullback where we came down to the 618 retracement? Actually, no, we came out to the 6.5 retracement. Is this a shallow pullback, and are we gonna now start heading up to higher prices on Bitcoin? Because if we do, then this Fibonacci extension, this 1272, says Bitcoin's next level to look for is 131K. I think a lot of people are looking for 130K Bitcoin. You'll start seeing more money pouring into crypto and Bitcoin if we can do that, because, you know, 124, 125K, I mean, we've hit 124K in August. That's nothing too new. That's not going to get people excited. And we've seen 123K back in July. I think Bitcoin needs to crank it up a notch, get up to 130K, and then you'll see a lot more money pouring into crypto and, you know, pouring into the altcoins for the people who feel like, oh my god, I missed out on Bitcoin. It's at 130K. But what's this thing called Solana? What's this thing called Sui at like $3? you know, $3 or $4, and they'll start throwing their hat in the ring on those coins. Okay. But I think we're not going to really see a lot of money pouring into a cryptocurrency until Bitcoin gets up to 130K. 126, 127K, not quite, you know, nothing to write home to mom about. Yeah, it's a new all-time high, but they want to see more than that. They, you know, the new money wants to see more money going into Bitcoin. And then they get excited, and then they throw their hat in the ring. And even like the people that bought cryptocurrency like last year, like they're a little bit discouraged with, you know, altcoins not doing crap. And if they see Bitcoin at 126K, they're like, so what? But if they see Bitcoin at 130, 140K, they're like, oh my god, maybe this is the altcoin season starting up all over again. And then they're gonna start adding to their altcoin bags that they bought last year. So I think we need to see that 130K number for Bitcoin, in my opinion, to get people more excited. I just think 126, 127, it's nice to see that, but it's not enough for people to go on Coinbase and go on their crypto exchanges and start taking money out of their bank and putting it into a cryptocurrency world. So I think we need to see that 130K number. It's just a number that a lot of people are paying attention to right now. But let's get into some of the smaller time frames here. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. See how that's looking for Bitcoin. You're above the 200 moving average. Kind of gave people a good scare yesterday afternoon, where it looked like we were going to start heading towards that 200 moving average, but we caught the bids at 120,600. And we're just making higher lows, higher highs on the 1 hour time frame. Let's see what the RSI looks like. RSI is making higher lows as well. Okay. I would like to see a higher high compared to what we saw here on Monday when Bitcoin hit that 126K. Can we actually get overbought again on the 1 hour time frame? If we can, then yeah, we're gonna probably see new all-time highs again on Bitcoin if the 1 hour time frame gets overbought like that. Let's move on to the 15-minute time frame. See what the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. Yeah, RSI slowly creeping up. You are overbought right now, so maybe on the 15-minute, maybe Bitcoin does a little throwback, comes right back to the 200 moving average at 123,250. Don't be surprised if you see that. We are overbought on the 15-minute time frame. Let's see what Market Cipher B has to say. Market Cipher B, there is money flowing coming in, but be on the lookout for a red sell dot to show up on the 15-minute time frame, because you already had the green buy dot. It looks like a couple hours ago. But if that red sell dot comes in, then yeah, you should probably take profit on your day trades if that's the case, because you don't know how far down it's going to end up coming down before you get another green buy dot here on the 15-minute time frame. I think that's going to be it here for guys. That's going to be it for this live stream. I'm going to try to manage my day trades here after I get off the live stream. Try to see if I can take some profit on whatever I can, and move stop losses on the ones that I want to stay in trades for. But yep, that's going to be it for today. I will see you guys same time tomorrow. Tomorrow's what, Thursday? Yeah, we could do a live stream around that time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time is when you'll see me show up again. All right, till then, I wish I could try to take someone to another. Is there anybody that's going live right now that I follow? Let me just see. Maybe I can switch people over. Let's go to home. Night Shift is live streaming right now. Nah. But I remember Joe saying that there was something here where I could try to, like, if I click like edit or something, then I could send people over to another live stream. See if I could do something like that. Joe, are you still in here? Trade Intuition? Because I kind of want to see if I can work on that. You're gonna try to, was it stream settings? Stream settings. I see how I could port people over to another live stream or another channel here. I click on edit, customization, and I have to go back and look at your. You sent something to me on Discord. I'll have to take a look at that on how to do this porting over to another live stream. But anyways, yeah, guys, be on the lookout for my next live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time. Take care. Good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into.